Hello everyone, it's Adam here. We're going to be installing this part number from KTM. It's the heated grip set. Yes, I know Oxford is supposedly better, but I wanted to go OEM because I heard that there is a connector already built in that allows us to plug in these things into the bike, which is what I'm going to try to do. So let's get started. First, just keep in mind, I've already done the removal of this. I'm next going to install the grips, run the cables down, maybe using the existing holes right here on both sides into here, and then I will do the wiring, and I will take breaks intermittently to show you guys what I did. Let's get into it. The clutch side was pretty hard, actually. I hit this with heat and different fluids, and I could not get the OEM grip off. It just was impossible, so I just cut it. And after I cut it, even despite all the heat and fluids, it still was disgusting. So I took a straight edge, like cutting utility knife to it, and got all of the pieces that were hanging on. Note there's a lot of adhesive, hard, like concrete adhesive on here. So get as much off as you can. And then I sanded it down, so I got rid of all of it. So now it's nice and clean. This is the clutch side. You'll know the clutch side because there's no throttle control there. You can slide this right on. I'm going to use some adhesive, some grip adhesive, but make sure everything fits in there. It all looks good. You've got this hole here for your hand grips, and then this is going to run through here and then down this hole into here. On the throttle side, you're going to unscrew these 4 bolts like this. This front piece of the throttle will turn off, and now you can see here how the action is now. Now you can just pull this guy right out of there like this. So let's get the, you'll notice how this hooks up. You basically have that sliding right in there. So let's get the throttle cable and stage that. So this slides right into place. It can only go in one way, but you'll notice that this is already angled, so you can then follow the throttle and brake lines down to the exact same opening right there. So let's go ahead and get this back together pretty easily. We'll tape that up, and then we're good to proceed with the wiring. Keep in mind too, when you're locking this thing back down, you're going to want to make sure that your throttle piece is in the indent right there, so it won't turn. Then you can just tighten those 4 Phillips head screws, make sure that it doesn't bind at all. Full range of motion. And then now what we're going to do is take these 2 T30s and back them out a little bit so that you can pull this a little bit away from the body so you can get to those holes. All right, we're making progress. So as you can see here, we have this is going down here. We're going to feed it and zip tie it right into this little loom. And they're both going down here, both the controller as well as the, where'd you go? As well as the actual connector for this. On the other side, we also have the same thing going on. So that's going through there. So we've got everything sort of coming together like that. Now, as for the controller, I don't actually know what the orientation correctly should be, but in my opinion, having it come under calls this to have like a wire hanging out of the bottom. So I think having it hang over is what I want to do. So I'm going to do it like this. Now, one other thing too, this mount piece, this plastic piece is actually made to go where the LR's dual fuel tank controller is. And so because of that, there's a little rubber piece in here that you use to sort of add friction that comes with it. I had to trim that rubber piece about, 1/8 of a centimeter on both ends in order to give this enough coverage to actually thread in. I applied thread locker too. I didn't want to go too far because it's just plastic, but I did give it about eight good threads in there with thread locker. And now I've just scuffed this up with some sandpaper so that we can apply our included adhesive. And I may actually use my own 3M adhesive. It's much stronger. I'm sure their stuff is more than capable. But yeah, just keep in mind that this is supposed to go up here. It doesn't work because of this is there. And so if you move it down, just know that the bar does get thicker, so you'll have less ability to thread this in. But it looks a little differently now. So on the LR, I don't know if everyone is wired differently, but on this bike, ACC 1 and 2 were behind. They were in this cubby. You couldn't even see them. And so if you want to get directly to those, you snip, 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 snap, snip, snap, and then you can get to it. Ignore the rest of these. I do the rest of these. I'm also replacing the turn signals, which requires snipping this one and snapping that one and this one down here. But one is going to be, and they're labeled. Yep, there's two. So ACC 1, they're both 10 amps. One is always on. 2 is only when the ignition is on. We're going to use 2 for the heated grips because I can be forgetful sometimes. That way when the bike turns off, the grips also turn off. And then here are going to be your extra plugs for your USB port, if you get that. USB, and what else am I installing here? Something else. I can't remember. But yeah, there's your USB. So yep, let's get this wired up here, and then we won't do any cable management today because this is going to stay like this for a couple of days until the fuse block arrives. All right, let's get into it. And for the wiring, your yellow goes to the brown and black wire, and your black goes to the brown wire. So that's wired in. We turn the key. Let's see if this turns on. All right, just tested them all as well. So it's yellow to brown and black, black to black, or black to brown, sorry. You know, one thing that you might want to consider is if you are going to ride in the rain, you're obviously opening yourself up to maybe some water ingress through here. That's probably why it's facing the direction. So I might turn this at some point. It's up to you. I kind of like how clean this kind of goes into the wiring there and how nice it looks from the front. But you know, you might decide to do it the other direction. That's up to you. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and have a good day.